Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Hitched, The Bachelorette by G.K. Derosa, narrated by Sarah Puckett. Chapter 1. The harsh white light of the camera burns my eyes. I blink rapidly to keep them from watering. Beads of sweat accumulate on my brow, but I'm too nervous to wipe them away. Now I know exactly how a deer feels, frozen under the glare of neon headlights. The red dot on the camera continues to blink at me, taunting. My heart beats out a frantic staccato as I clutch the pages in my lap. Every ounce of moisture has evaporated, and my tongue is stuck to the roof of my mouth. Miss Starr, are you okay? The casting director shoots me a narrowed glare. He and the associate producer stand in the shadow of the blinding light just to the right of the camera guy. Even in the shadows, I recognize the AP, Tyson Vale. His trademark pinstripe suit reeks of wealth and power. He's a relative newcomer in the Hollywood scene, according to Gianfranco, my agent. But he's young, and whatever he touches turns to ratings gold. I chew on my lower lip and clamp my hands together in my lap to keep them from shaking. Get it together, Kimmie-Jayne. This is my biggest audition yet, and I'm totally about to blow it. Okay, so maybe I've only had 3 since moving to LA 2 months ago, but this is definitely the most important one. Did your agent not give you the sides? Again, the casting director levels me with his gaze. Icy blue eyes freezing, the dribble of sweat snaking down my back. Ack, why can't I remember his name? So much for being prepared. I stare down at the short selection from the script that Gianfranco sent me, my pulse rapidly elevating. I did have it memorized a few hours ago, but every single word has leaked out of my brain at the moment. Why does a reality TV show need a script anyway? The camera guy steps out from behind the mounted camcorder and gives me a smile. His warm grin is sweet and disarming, and the tension in my shoulders relents a tad. He runs his hand through his sandy brown hair and regards me. It might help if you pretend you were talking to me, instead of looking right into the camera lens. I swallow thickly and nod, releasing the clenched sheet of paper in my hands. The casting director and the AP wear matching expressions of boredom, and I decide to turn my focus toward camera guy since he seems the nicest of the bunch. His gray Henley and distressed jeans give him a relaxed vibe, unlike the other 2 in their sleek tailored suits. Voices filter through the walls of the casting office. They're so thin I can hear a feminine voice reciting the lines I was supposed to have memorized through the cheap plaster. I bet she's killing it. Unlike me. I draw in a breath, and camera guy winks at me. Okay, I'm ready. Hi, I'm Kimmie-Jayne, and I'm 20 years old from Clarksville, Missouri. I think I'd be the perfect choice for the starring role on Hitched because I'm ready for love. I've never dated much. Only one guy, actually. He was my high school sweetheart. Getting to know 25 guys all at once would be the perfect way to make up for my lack of experience and fast forward the dating game. I glance up and Tyson Vale is staring at his phone, probably texting someone. The casting director has his arms folded across his chest and he's looking in my direction, but his face is a blank mask. I'm totally bungling this. My shoulders sag, but I continue. I'm looking for a guy that's sweet, smart, and adventurous, but mostly someone that knows how to treat a girl like a lady. Basically, I'm looking for my very own Prince Charming. At that, camera guy smirks and heat floods my cheeks. Okay, now from the script, says Icy Blues without even looking up. He ticks his head at camera guy. Cross will read with you. I squirm in my seat and cross my legs. I would never in a million years say any of these things on an actual date. Stealing my nerves, I begin, returning my gaze to camera guy, or Cross. My last boyfriend was a terrible kisser. How would you describe your kissing style? an excited golden retriever, a cold trout, or a sneaky boa. I try not to cringe as I finish spouting out the terribly cheesy line. Who writes this stuff? A laugh tumbles from Cross's lips as he scans the page he's holding. The casting director shoots him a glare, and he clears his throat, his lips thinning. Definitely a boa, baby. I'd wrap you in my arms and never let go. Then when you'd least expect it, I'd snake my tongue between your lips and slither around until your toes curl. A peal of laughter explodes from my clenched teeth, and all eyes whip toward me. I quickly clap my hand over my mouth, but it's no use. I can't stop laughing. After the intensely building tension, I think I'm actually losing it. Plus, that is the cheesiest line I have ever heard in my life. Cross starts to chuckle, and even the AP and Icy Blue crack smiles. Do you guys really say this stuff? I can't help it. The words pop out of my mouth. I thought this was supposed to be reality television. Only D-bags, says Cross, earning a pointed glare from the AP. He shrugs and drops the sheet of paper on the desk. What? It's true. Whoever writes this stuff needs to get out more. Tyson's light brows draw together, fixing on Cross. It's a good thing we don't pay you for your editorial critique. He ticks his head at the script thrown on the desk. Cross grunts and picks it up again, flipping through a few pages, then turns to Icy Blue. Where do you want me to start, Cullen? Yes, that's it. The casting director's name is Cullen Andrews. Gianfranco didn't know much about him. Page 4, second line, he mutters. I quickly flip through the pages in my head, hoping I remember my lines. Cross clears his throat, and his warm hazel eyes meet mine. I'm taking you out tonight, babe, and I really want to get to know you better. What would I have to do to seal the deal? His lips lift in the corner, but I push down the bout of laughter threatening to bubble out and concentrate on the top of his head. The words flow smoothly for once. A candlelight dinner on the beach, followed by a moonlit walk along the sandy shore, would do it for me, baby. I don't have a problem with sand in my hair. Then I wink, and I'm sure I look ridiculous, but that's what the stage directions call for. The associate producer lifts his hand, silencing Cross, who's about to read the next line. Tyson's gaze rakes over me, like he's looking at me for the first time since I sat down. That's it for now. We'll be in touch. That's it? There are at least another 2 pages to get through. I try to mask the swell of disappointment and give him a smile as I reach for my purse on the floor. Oh, do you have a headshot with you? Asks Cullen, taking a step toward me. No. Who uses those anymore? Gianfranco told me everything was digital these days. I quickly scramble through my tote bag, praying I have an old copy printed. My fingers close on a folded sheet of glossy paper and I yank it out. It's crumpled, and there are coffee stains on the corner of the black and white photo. Dang it. That'll do, he says as he snatches it from my hand, his lips curling in disgust when they land on the brown stains. My cheeks flush with embarrassment, and I swing my hair forward to hide behind the blonde curtain. Refusing to look up, I spin toward the door without even a goodbye. Way to go, Kimmie. I rush down the grimy stairs with my head down, pressing the script into my chest as tears prick my eyes. I need to be anywhere but here right now. How could I have ever thought I would make it in Los Angeles as an actress? I'm absolutely hopeless. Turning the corner, I nearly smack into a leggy blonde. I let out a yip of surprise, and the sheets of paper scatter all over the floor. Watch it! The girl sneers at me as I crouch down to pick up the scattered pages, embarrassment squeezing my lungs. From the corner of my eye, I watch her saunter up the stairs, her red-soled Louboutins igniting another round of self-pity in my chest. Maybe I should just give up now. With a huff, I shove the script into my tote bag and straighten, trying to gather the little dignity I have left. Heavier footsteps slap the concrete stairs above, and I race down the stairwell, hoping to avoid further embarrassment. My luck, it'll be one of the chosen bachelors, and he'll be super hot, and I'll do something really stupid. open my mouth. Finally reaching my beat-up Corolla in the parking lot, I sink into the worn cloth seat and exhale a long breath. Patting the peeling steering wheel, memories of the cross-country drive to LA fill my thoughts. No one thought my old girl would make the 28-hour trek. We proved them wrong, didn't we, Marilyn? I named her after my all-time favorite actress, Marilyn Monroe, and I vowed to be as famous as she was one day. I'll never forget the look on my parents' faces when I told them I was moving to Hollywood after finishing 2 years of community college. Times were tough, but with my parents' help, I'd scraped up enough money to pay for my associate's degree and fund my trip to California afterward. Now I was worried Dad would never be able to retire from the quick mark because of it. I felt bad leaving, but I promised myself that when I made it big, I'd pay them back. A smile splits my lips as the image of Becky Sue's slack-jawed expression flashes across my mind. My sister was so shocked at the news she almost dropped little Billy. She always has at least one kid strapped onto her while the other two pull at a leg or the hem of her skirt. That good-for-nothing husband of hers never spends more than a few minutes with those kids. Sometimes I wonder if I wouldn't have wanted to leave home so badly if my sister's life hadn't turned out so crappy. The ding of my phone tears me away from the musings into my past. Digging it out of my purse, I grumble as the familiar name on the text message flashes across the screen. Bobby. I miss you, Kimmie-Jayne. I sigh and shove the phone back into my bag. Nope, I am never going back. I refuse to become my mom or Becky Sue. I won't get trapped in Clarksville for the rest of my life with a crummy job and a crummier husband. Not that Bobby is that bad. He was my first love, my first everything. When I found out he'd gotten a full ride to play baseball at the University of Missouri, I knew we were done. His path was set, predictable, and I wanted anything but. I want to be extraordinary. I want to be famous. Maybe one day. I flick the ignition and Marilyn sputters to life. Turning out of the parking lot, I veer toward the sign for the freeway. I glance at the clock on the dash as I merge onto the on-ramp. Luckily, I have almost an hour until my shift starts. With this traffic, I'll just make it in time. The 55-minute bumper-to-bumper drive passes slower than watching the corn grow on Uncle Jimmy's farm. When I finally pull into the parking lot, I'm exhausted. Or maybe just depressed. I squirm out of my cute audition sundress and into a bright yellow uniform shirt and black pants. Tugging the red apron out from under the passenger seat, I grimace. Through the windshield, the stupid chicken on the obnoxious red and yellow sign stares down at me. I grab a scrunchie from the center console and pull my blonde hair back, adjusting my red visor under my ponytail. That's right. I work at a fast food chicken joint. Chapter 2. The best thing about working at a crappy fast food establishment is the free meals. Coming from Clarksville, Missouri, finding authentic Mexican food is a pretty impossible task. At least here I get my belly's fill, and it's not half bad. Barreling through the front door, the scent of citrus, garlic, and roasted meat fills my nostrils. My stomach rumbles, reminding me I haven't eaten all day. I'm totally having 2 orders of tacos for lunch. No reason to watch my weight after the blundered audition. The bell above the door chimes loudly, announcing my late arrival. I hastily throw the fire engine red apron over my head and tie it around my waist. Hector stands by the cash register glaring, his chubby hands and tight fists on his hips. Ay, chica, you late again. I know, I'm so sorry, Hector. I just can't seem to get used to this traffic. I rush behind the counter, clock in, and slip my name badge on. Give her a break, Jefe. Lupita saunters over to my side and gives me a good hip bump. With her petite frame and darting dark eyes, she's the only person that manages to look cute in our hideous uniforms. She had an audition today. Our little gringuita is going to be a big star soon. I give her a grateful smile as Hector grunts and trudges away. I would never survive working at Pollo Loco without her. So how did it go? She asks as soon as the door to the back office slams shut. I totally blew it. I lean against the front counter and sigh. The place is empty. We're in that awkward time between breakfast and lunch, so I can vent. I know, Mommy. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. She adjusts my name tag and looks up at me from under a curtain of dark lashes. Lashes that I'd kill for. Lupita is beautiful and exotic, and I'm just plain. A plain Jane. What was it for again? It's a new dating reality show called Hitched. My voice goes up a notch, and even I can hear the excitement in my tone. I attempt to suppress it because there's no way I landed the role after that cringeworthy audition. It takes place on some remote island, and one girl gets picked to date 25 guys. At the end, she chooses one to marry. Lupita's expressive eyes widen. Seriously? You'd marry some random guy? I shrug. My agent said most of it is fake, but what if I really do meet the one? She laughs and flicks my visor up. You really are one of those hopeless romantics, aren't you, chica? She takes a sip from her soda and points a hot pink manicured fingernail at me. You better be careful, Kimmie-Jayne. I'm worried for you. Hollywood is going to eat you up and spit you out. You gotta be tough if you want to survive in this city. I know, I mutter, folding my hands over my chest. The jingle of chiming bells draws my attention to the door, and a herd of teenagers make their way toward the counter. I glance at Lupita, and she rolls her eyes. Gossip time is over, and the lunch rush is about to begin. I plaster a smile on my face and take a deep breath. Welcome to Pollo Loca. What can I get you today? The next hour goes by in a rush of faces, piles of fire-grilled chicken, and overwhelming scents of cilantro and garlic. Every table in the small diner is filled, but the line has finally disappeared. I grab a drink from the soda fountain and lean against the counter, watching the customers scarf down their food. My stomach rumbles again, reminding me I still haven't eaten. I glance at my watch. 15 more minutes until my lunch break. 3 police officers huddle around a table a few feet away from the counter. I can't help my gaze shifting in their direction. There's something so hot about a man in uniform. I move closer to get a better look at one of the guys. He looks about my age, maybe older, around early 20s. His broad shoulders and sandy blonde hair pique my interest. I'm telling you I saw one of them, says one of the other police officers. Broad Shoulders lifts a brow. A supernatural. The man nods, his lips tightly pressed together. He was more beast than man. His hair was shaggy, and he had pointy fangs instead of teeth. You're full of it, Riley, says the third guy, chuckling. He lifts his right hand up. I swear on my mother's grave, the thing that attacked that woman in the valley wasn't human. Come on, you guys. We've all heard the rumors. We aren't the only creatures in this world. Broad Shoulders' gaze turns to me, and I quickly divert my eyes. Great first impression. The cute guy is going to think I was eavesdropping on their conversation. He whispers something to the other two, and I can't make out another word of their discussion. I take a long gulp of soda as my mind plays back their exchange. Could there really be supernaturals living among us? The police officer is right about the rumors. They've been running rampant for months. Growing up in small-town Missouri, I'd never heard a thing about the paranormal until I moved to L.A. I didn't believe it one bit. A chill slithers down my spine as the gruesome images from the news flash across my mind. There were a whole string of animal attacks at Runyon Canyon in the Santa Monica Mountains. It is the place to go hiking. Luckily, I'm too poor to live anywhere near there. I live with my horrible roommate in what I like to call Beverly Hills Adjacent, also known as the Valley. Are you okay? You're like 10 times paler than normal. Lupita sneaks up behind me, and I almost pee myself. I glance back at the group of police officers, but they seem to have changed topics. They're laughing and joking around now. Yeah, it's nothing. Come on, chica. You look like you saw a ghost or something. I pull her away from the counter to the grill, the scent of roasted chicken thick in the air clinging to my pores. Lowering my visor, I whisper, "Do you believe the rumors about the supernaturals?" She plants her hands on her curvy hips and arches a perfectly tweezed brow. Of course I do, chica. Her hand flies to her forehead, then her chest as she makes the sign of the cross. My abuelita comes to visit me every year on Dia de los Muertos, and I know spirits aren't the only paranormal things lurking around here. She lowers her voice and leans in. You know that really pale guy that only comes in at night? I nod, knowing exactly whom she's talking about. There is something about that customer that always makes my skin crawl. The guys in the back think he's a vampire. My eyes widen, and I'm sure I look like some crazed cartoon character. There's no such thing as vampires, I hiss. She shakes her head, clucking her tongue. I don't know, but Ramos said he always asks for undercooked chicken. Ew. I glance at the grill and the slabs of pink meat thrown across the fire. The bell chimes and my eyes turn toward the door, to a pair of warm hazel irises. Oh, shnikes. I just can't get a break. I dive down behind the counter, praying the good-looking guy walking in doesn't see me. What's the matter with you, loca? Lupita yanks on my ponytail as I crouch behind her. Kimmie-Jayne, is that you? Says a smooth, deep voice. Busted. I stay hidden, pulling the visor further over my face. Maybe he'll go away. Oi, chica, there's a hot guy here asking about you. Traitor. I adjust my apron over my shirt and muster my last shred of dignity, forcing myself to stand. Camera guy smirks as I straighten to my full height and meet his gaze. He's actually cuter than he seemed in the dark audition room. Streaks of blonde run through his sandy brown hair, and coupled with his tan skin, he's giving off a total hot surfer vibe. I thought that was you, he says as he adjusts the sunglasses perched on his head. Yep, it's me, I mutter as heat floods my cheeks. What the heck is this guy doing all the way out here in Sherman Oaks? Lupita bumps her hip into mine and flashes a sexy smile. So, Kimmie, when are you going to introduce me to your hottie friend? Christian Cross. He shoots her a big grin and extends his hand. Kimmie and I only met today at her audition. Lupita's dark brows nearly reach her hairline. Oh, wow. So are you some big shot producer? She pouts out her full lower lip and gives him her hand. He chuckles, and the sound is profound and soothing, like hot cocoa on a wintry Missouri night. No, nothing that important. He pries his hand from her tightly clenched fingers and rubs the back of his neck. I'm the camera operator, and I do a little of the cinematography. It sure sounds important. Lupita leans over the counter, pressing her forearms against her chest, giving Cross a clear view of her cleavage. It's her signature move. How she pulls off sexy in a bright yellow uniform shirt is beyond me. Cross's gaze moves from her chest back to me. I'm actually glad I ran into you, Kimmie. Do you think you can take a break and eat lunch with me? My heart inches up my throat as I stare at him blankly. Kimmie? Lupita's sharp elbow digs into my side, snapping me from a haze. She'd love to have lunch with you. She was about to go on her break anyway. I smile and nod at Cross as Lupita shoves me toward the employee locker room. Are you crazy? I hiss as soon as we barrel through the swinging door and we're out of earshot. Are you? She squares off with me in front of the door. That guy is one hot tamale, and you're going to let him get away? But this is so embarrassing. I pull the apron over my head, and the scent of onion and garlic fills my nostrils. I reek of chicken. Who cares? If he likes you like this, it's saying a lot. She tugs the visor off my head and pulls my hair out of the tie, arranging the long blonde locks over my shoulders. There, all set. Thank you. She squeezes my hand and smacks my butt as I turn around. Go get him, chica. I can't help but laugh as I push through the doors into the main seating area. Cross sits at the corner table by the window and stands as soon as he sees me. Sorry if I caught you off guard. If you have other plans for your break, I totally get it. I glance down at the array of food on the table, and my stomach growls. No, it's okay. He pulls out my chair, and I almost die of shock. In my 2 months living in California, he is the first guy to perform the chivalrous gesture. I asked the guy at the register what you liked, so I took the liberty of ordering for you. I hope you don't mind. Mind? My mouth is already salivating at the sight of the tacos. Not at all. This is perfect, thanks. I restrain myself from shoveling the whole taco in my mouth and instead take a dainty bite, in case he tries to talk to me. After the audition fiasco, I can't fathom why he'd ever want to see me again. And is it really a coincidence he ended up here? He looks up at me over his burrito, his hazel eyes flitting over me. I quickly swallow the mouthful of chicken and take a sip of soda. So, he says, then a wicked smile splits his lips. What do I have to do to seal the deal? A big laugh tumbles out, and I almost spit my drink out with it. Clapping my hand over my mouth, I pull myself together and make sure the beverage goes down my throat and not all over his face. Is that really how guys talk on the show? I finally ask when I catch my breath. Because if it is, then maybe it's a good thing I botched the audition. He rolls his eyes. Nah, don't say that. You did fine. And yeah, some of them do spout out lines like that, even without the prompting. To be honest, most of the interactions aren't that scripted. The writers just like to give the show a general direction. If there's enough drama without them, they tend to stay out of it. I would give anything to be chosen for Hitched. Really? His brows draw together, a slight frown crossing his handsome face. Why would a beautiful girl like you need a TV show to find love? Or are you only doing it for the exposure? Heat seeps up my neck, and I'm surely as red as one of the tomatoes on my taco. I stare at my plate and shrug. A little bit of both, I guess. I don't know. There's something romantic about the idea of it. His hand suddenly finds mine across the table, and warmth trickles into my fingers. Listen, Kimmie-Jayne, you're too good for that show. There are some things you don't know, and... A phone buzzes in his pocket, cutting him off. He pulls it out and glances at the screen, his lips thinning. Sorry, I gotta get this. It's from the studio. Sure, no problem. I watch him as he walks away, fully appreciating his cute, perky butt and those tight jeans. I laugh internally. I've been spending way too much time with Lupita. The spicy scent of the tacos calls to me, so I dig back in, scarfing the rest down before Cross gets back. From the corner of my eye, his pacing form draws my attention through the window. He's yelling at whoever is on the other side of the line and marching back and forth like a caged animal. I press my ear to the window, but the double-paned glass doesn't allow for a single syllable to be heard. A minute later, he shoves the phone back into his pocket and heads back inside. I tear my gaze away from the window and suck down a big slurp of soda to wash down the tacos before he reaches the table. Sorry about that. It was Cullen, the casting director. Bright crimson flushes his cheeks, and he sounds like he just ran a marathon. Is everything okay? He opens his mouth, then snaps it shut as if reconsidering, just as my phone dings.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?